Okay, this is I don't even remember the session number anymore. Session 117, I think. Who wants to give a recap of the last session?
I think we started last session fighting the Warforge
Yeah.
guy, and just utterly destroyed him. Um, I can't remember if we got anything off of him, but
We
sure.
did. We
Yeah.
got an ice cube that never melts,
Oh, that's right.
and we got an armband. Blade took the armband. It was nothing special about it. It was just an armband.
So Blade came into
Yes, Blade popped into this universe briefly, stole the armband.
Oh, sorry. Warforged. Yeah, no, T-Hole took the armband.
I mean, it seems fitting.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes the puppet masters get a little confused. That's all.
Yeah, T-Hole took the armband.
Yeah, and then after that, we found a settlement with a big blue and black or blue and gold dragon,
Blue and green.
blue and green, with 6 legs, and a bunch of people that just seemed to be like waiting for something. Um, the group at first, Zarius had suggested just kind of waiting and seeing what happens. Clave figured that, there's a high chance that this is a prophecy and they're waiting for us. So he just kind of went after it because he was just in so much pain. He didn't even care. He was like, these people are either going to welcome us or kill me. Either way, I'm good with it.
Yeah, one thing to interject is well before you got to the village, when you were still in the air, you began to sense a kind of sense of welcoming and peace that just sort of permeated the area.
Uh,
Yeah.
So we got there, revealed ourselves. There was a bunch of dancing, and we were welcome with food and drink. And the dragon began conversing primarily with Zarius. And the dragon wanted to be able to read Zarius's mind and was willing to allow Zarius to read the dragon's mind, which Clave helped facilitate some of that. And then the dragon was concerned because he's now the high priest of Sekhmet, and didn't want Zarius to come and claim the title. And Zarius assured him that he had no interest in that, so he felt a bit better about it. And then from there, we eventually made our way down into the temple, where there were a bunch of those falling stalagmite creatures whose names escape me.
Piercers.
Piercers, yes. So Clay put up a wall of force to kind of keep them from hurting us. And then Zarius started a ritual. There was like this glowing thing in the center, and then this other thing. I can't remember exactly what the layout looked like. But then this giant tentacle creature on top of the ceiling began attacking us from the darkness.
So there was an image of Sekhmet that appeared and explained to Zarius what the ritual required.
Hmm. And then from
I,
there,
I would say, in hindsight, Clave realizes that could have just been an illusion. It was
yeah,
like within the 20-foot cube major image zone.
yeah, that probably would have helped realizing that. But either way, we fought the thing. Uh, it was incredibly tough, which we learned after the fact that he was eating the containers of the thing that we were looking for to heal ourselves. Um, and then, but eventually we killed it. And then we got a bunch of treasure that we found, and then the containers, which we have one for everybody minus one, I believe.
-2 if you count Kepri.
Yeah, and
No, we don't count.
Clave being the only one that can actually magically identify any of these things, definitely ate one of the containers immediately upon discovering what it was.
I like to imagine that Clave was like trying to drink it, but like his forehead kept getting in the way, and he had to keep moving it out.
Yeah, it appears to be a canopic jar filled with some sort of liquid. I'm gonna say Clave probably figured out that you can open it. You could try to eat the outer casing. Um, it's pottery. It may not go down easily.
So Clave is feeling much better in a lot of ways. And then
Yeah.
we
I mean, I
level.
would say, yeah, as Clave downs the potion, you probably all would have seen his body contort again and heard
Oh.
the same sort of wrenching of like bone and sinew as his spinal issue corrects itself. But Clave doesn't feel any pain at all through that process. If anything, he just feels better as it uncorrects or it corrects itself and restores him back to his original form.
Oh, I think that's all that I remember.
Right. And one thing to add, now that like the dust is settling and the battle's over, you realize that that sense of welcoming and peace that you felt when you first approached the town, that is gone. It had always been there as like a background. It started to change during the fight, but it's complete.
Right.
Everything feels completely silent now.
Oh, nice.
You also
Well-
found the spear of Sekhmet,
Oh, that's right. That's
And
a
a-
pretty
a bunch
badass
of-
looking item.
a bunch of other treasure.
Well, T-hole, there's only 2 jars left. Should we cure
Yeah, I mean,
ourselves?
Yeah, I feel like I will, since Tony's not here, probably Zarius would like point to his swollen leg,
Yep.
and say that he wants one.
I think we
He'll be fine.
I think Zarius should certainly have one of them.
I'm good. So I'm gonna
I
go
will
to this.
give him I will give him my jar. Assuming T-hole's assuming he's already claimed one. And then he has owned a jar, like chosen. He's like, I will give him one of my jars. Because without him, we're not gonna get out of here.
Zarius takes the jar and probably adds, "That's for the best anyway. We don't know what it would have done to you. This isn't your first body. It could just heal you by turning you to the dust you should have been thousands of years ago."
Hmm?
T-hole's been around for a very long time. Who
Yeah, it's
knows
been-
what it is if this turns you back into your original form?
I don't know. Zarius kind of saucy right now.
Well, it's a gamble I'm willing to take. But you have it.
Zarius would, gulp down. It's kind of like kind of a slimy mixture. It's not exactly pleasant going down, but you feel better afterwards. And in fact, you notice like Zarius's limp is even gone. He gets plus 5 foot movement speed, and it turns out he really is just the fastest Dragonborn ever. And everyone make me a perception check. that's worth looking at for Darius. Nope. So you don't notice anything.
I, I guess I will take the last one then.
Are you going to be drinking it now?
I would say yes. So, so I don't have some deformity if I have to use I pretty much I will say that fight I actually had to burn through a bunch of more spells than I normally ever do.
So you do, everybody who takes the potion does recover 15 D4 plus 15 hit points.
Yeah, I saw that. I got a 15d4. Holy shit. Yeah, I need some HP too. Um, suck. 30.
I actually don't need to roll. I was at pretty much full hit points.
So there is still in this room, the room is still dark, obviously, except for the torches. Teal can still see for a few more minutes before his visage wears off. You also noticed during the course of the fight, there was a large pile of bones in the northeast or northwest corner, all of which appear to be dragonborn bones. There are those two immense winged ankhs that are on either side of the temple that you ran into in the course of the fight. There's a large gemstone growing out of the base or the floor close to the middle of the temple with a sort of basin stuck onto the side of it. There are two gemstones and a beating heart on the altar. And who is taking the spear?
Not me. It's definitely not my weapon.
What is your weapon?
Not a spear. I don't know. I don't
Well,
know.
let's see. +3 to hit. That's pretty good.
Right. So, Teal, the only one who already has a +3 weapon, I guess.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Zarius is probably the most appropriate person to possess the spear, since it is his god.
It actually is not. His god is Osiris.
Oh,
But he'll take it. I don't know whether or not Tony will want to, for sentimental reasons. Tony has his staff of the adder that he's had since he started this character.
I mean,
So
Clave is fine with taking it. If it's not something sentimental or of value religiously to Zarius. I don't know that Clave will have much use for it, but he'll take it.
yeah, I actually I don't know one way or another. Maybe Tony will want it, but not because it's of his god, adjacent to his god.
If Tony comes on and if he has a desire for the spear, I don't mind giving it up. I don't have a particularly strong desire for it, except, yeah. So
Okay, so for now you're carrying it.
Yeah, I'll carry it.
There's also, you notice there are doors set into the northern wall of the temple, so you don't know what's in the back rooms.
Well, shall we go and investigate lies beyond those doors?
Yes. Let's see if they have any more, if there's any more, the elixir. It's maybe hidden, well hidden.
The
But before we proceed, just give me a moment. Clay will use his arcane recovery to regain some spell slots.
Okay.
Half his level, so 1/5. And okay. All right, so
the roper, whatever that roper was on steroids we killed,
Hmm.
does it have teeth?
It does not have teeth exactly. It does have almost like rocky like gums that do sort of come together to crush food.
Hmm. But it's got eye. You said it had eyes.
It actually has multiple eyes, whereas most ropers have one.
Multiple like 10 or multiple like 3?
Multiple like 20.
Okay. Since it doesn't have any teeth, I will try to collect some of the eyes.
Okay, give me a survival check.
Oh yeah, big survival the score there, boy. Yeah.
You find the eyes you're kind of popping the eyes as you're pulling them out.
I'm going to assume that, well, I'm going to use my inspiration. I'm not inspiration. Yeah, my bardic inspiration, because I cast it on myself, only lasts 10 minutes. I'm going to assume it's about ended, so I'm going to use it on this roll.
Okay.
Not in our jammies?
14.
Why?
You're able to collect only one of the eyes intact. There's Tony.
Hey, Tony.
Yeah,
So-
we saved one of those urns since we drank all the stuff out of it. So you just need to collect some of the stuff to help yourself out. So
Yeah. T-Hole offered you his urn. Offered Zarius T-Hole's urn. So Aurelia got one, T-Hole got one. Clave drank one, essentially immediately upon identifying what they were. So
right.
he got one. But T-Hole deigned to give you his. You haven't thanked him yet, so if you want to do that now, that'd be fine.
I have to take a second to see if Zarius would be one to take that. It's difficult to say.
Well, Teal offered it to you, saying that, or basically under the assumption that we're not going to make it out alive. When,
yeah,
if you succumb to the astral,
To true death.
And you do have your leg messed up.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I mean, yeah, all right, fuck it. I'll take it. I'll
So
nod.
Aurelia and Clave drank theirs.
Did something
Clave's
strange happen to them?
you
No,
didn't see
we are
any.
fine.
Yeah,
Go
you didn't
ahead
see
and drink
anything.
yours.
You didn't
You
notice
should-
anything happen to Aurelia, but Clave, his back noisily corrected itself, but he
Mhm.
felt fine during the process and after. Aurelia was healed by a fairly substantial amount.
All right. Um, I'll drink it then, I guess. No reason to wait, right?
Right.
Additionally, there's the spear. So Clave has it because it's not your god's spear, but if Zarius has a strong penchant for it, you Clave is fine with giving it up.
I don't no, because I have my staff. My staff fulfills that function. But he would definitely watch you. But think Sekhmet's fairly magically oriented, so this should be okay for now.
So as Clave claims the staff, you do see the dim light that was pouring off of it does intensify greatly. So that it's now shedding bright light in a 30-foot radius and then dim light another 30 feet beyond that, all of which is natural sunlight. But Clave has not attuned to it as of yet. And there was a discussion about whether or not to search the other chambers, because there are chambers to the north on the, at least one set of doors on the north wall of the temple. There are also the golden winged Ankhs that you haven't really interacted with that are on either side of the temple. The beating heart and 2 gemstones that were on the altar when you got here, and the giant gemstone closer to the center of the room that has what appears to be jade basin attached to it.
There were some treasure gemstones. How many of
Oh,
those
they've
did
been
I manage to
collected. You're
get?
good.
Yeah, I
Yep.
just gotta make sure.
Good. They've been collected. Don't worry.
Just making sure that they're all taken care of.
Oh yeah, all taken care of.
Yeah, there's also a bunch of potions, one spell scroll, magical leather armor, a bunch of things for you guys to divvy up.
Yeah. Um,
And then the coinage is all the same, the standard like 50 gold pieces a pound. So I don't know how much of that you're taking and how much of it Clave can use for his little shadow ritual.
I think, well, there's a diamond, so we'll want to give that to Zarius for sure.
Will be useful for spells.
Right, except that this is a huge diamond. This is a single 5,000 gold piece diamond. So
True resurrection then. No wait, true resurrection is 10,000. I think that's like resurrection after 100 years or something. Maybe I can revive a different T hole from like 100 years ago.
Oh god.
Wouldn't that be something?
Now there are 2.
2 holes.
2 holes.
2 holes. 2 holes Johnson.
I imagine that would be like the Mahler twins, where they're arguing over which is the real one.
Yeah.
If T-hole would kind of, I'd be eyeing the potion of supreme healing, and be interested in taking that, given that he tends to be in the front lines. and getting pounded. So having a potion, powerful potion would probably be helpful.
This seems acceptable.
Can't hear you, Mike, if you're saying something.
I figured that Clave probably would have taken a majority of the coins, but he set aside enough for everybody to have 300 platinum, just in case people wanted some. Because I think that people at the end of last session, people seemed okay with Clave just eating the coins into his shadows.
So 300 platinum each, or 300
Yeah.
platinum. Yeah,
Okay.
Teal would take that. He's got 712 platinum. Buy a lot of wine with that.
Yeah, I mean, Clay figured that we wouldn't be able to carry these coins otherwise, so yeah. Especially since we still can't use the bag of holding until everyone is
Right.
cured.
But then it's just a bank of holding until you can get that, to get, at least move the last guy away so that you can go into the bag.
Also, Kepri also isn't cured.
Nope.
So
Unless by some divine intervention, she might have been.
I'm hoping we can at least search the other rooms and maybe see if there's into like a secret cupboard with a little bit more elixir in it. You never know.
Yeah,
If nobody wants it, I'll take the potion of gaseous form.
that seems fine with me.
Go ahead.
Did anybody take the stone giant strengths?
Nobody claimed those, no.
T-Hole's got like a 19 strength because I think he has the gauntlets of ogre strength, so it wouldn't make sense for him to have that.
I mean,
But you
It
could
would be
have the
funny.
strength of of multiple giants then.
I don't think the stone giant one probably wouldn't be too much of a bump, but the other one, frost giant, would be good. But yeah, I don't know. If nobody grabs them, I'll just grab them.
What is frost? What's stone giant? What does that give you?
Pretty sure that one's 21, right?
Yeah, I think so. And then Frost Shine is 23.
Will you take frost? I'll take stone since I have a crappy strength.
Right.
Part of me was hoping that T-Hole would take Frost Giant and Diminution just because those would be hilarious together.
Actually, it looks like stone giant strength would give you a 23.
Okay, well then both Frost and Stone Giant Strength are 23, which I never realized before.
That would be pretty funny. It's like Ant-Man.
Right.
What about that?
Oh,
Diminution?
Kurt, should Zarius make a perception check?
I made one for him.
Oh, okay.
He
Did
just
I do okay?
Oh,
no.
fantastic.
Nobody really noticed anything.
What I would have gotten?
You
Yeah,
rolled a
not that great.
6. You rolled a 6, so I didn't bother looking it up.
I rolled a.
I just rolled a d20 for you, and then if it had been higher, I would have looked it up on your character sheet. Oh, I also mentioned before you got here, Tony, that you had felt this like sense of peace and well-being, almost a welcoming sense. That actually started to shift during the battle and then completely faded when you killed the creature. So that is gone now.
I do remember that. If we can find any method for recreating these, it could be useful.
Recreating the potions.
Yes.
Are you well, I'm sure it would if we knew if we knew an alchemist, someone who was skilled in such craft.
We can find one of those if we could just find a recipe.
I'm skilled in alchemy.
Perfect. Anyone will do.
At least I'm pretty sure. One second. I'm pretty sure I have proficiency in alchemist supplies.
I mean, that makes sense from like a RP perspective.
Yeah, I have proficiency in alchemist supplies, and I believe I have a set of alchemist supplies. So what is it that you're needing
Well,
with my
I'm just
alchemy?
saying. I was just mentioning that if we can find a recipe, we could potentially recreate this so that everyone can be cured.
Oh, the
These potions.
elixir?
Yeah. Or if we can find the root of it.
I mean, aren't these divinely created? I imagine that even the greatest alchemist in the world may not be able to replicate the effects of these elixirs.
Yeah, but we got action points.
Ah,
Hell, sometimes we even have two.
I mean, I think that first we should explore the rest of this place. Afterwards, if you want me to take a few hours to try to study a small portion of the elixir, I'd be okay with that.
Perhaps in our
Did-
exploration, we will find a recipe.
Did Zarius take drink his potion?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so you were healed. I don't know if you were down any hit points, but you were healed by 15d4 plus 15 hit points.
I wasn't down any.
Okay.
The thing was ignoring me entirely because I couldn't fucking touch it.
Right. Your leg is officially healed, and whether you want to limp or not is up to you, but your limp is officially healed and you can move 5 feet per round faster than before.
Oh my god. Um,
Does
just
Zarya,
like-
does Zarya start crying?
I like to imagine Zarius just keeps limping.
instinctually.
And then one day shit's gonna hit the fan and he's gonna be faster than all.
Right.
Like Forrest,
Well,
Forrest
yeah,
breaking
maybe
off,
not.
breaking
Yeah.
off the
The leg braces.
leg braces. Yeah.
Run, Forrest. Yep, that's right. I am Forrest Gump. Teal, you're my Lieutenant Dan.
Oh, I may not be Lieutenant Dan for much longer.
Yeah. Sounds about right. Let us look.
Yeah.
Does anybody else need healing?
I could use some. But and I'm not in a dire situation.
What are we talking?
Wow. 35 hit points.
A bit
34.
much. That is a bit much. Um, here, let's just do this. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, could just, use hit die to arrest as well. But that's not this one. I guess if we're gonna sit for like an hour, then I could use hit die for a short rest.
And it seems like we're probably gonna look around at least, so I'll just help. Yeah.
But after fighting that creature, I mean, it would make sense. I would understand if anyone needed to take a minute, take a breath.
Well, we should look around first and see what we can find, and then maybe find maybe take some reprieve.
I can have Kefri be invisible and sort of lightly scouting, maybe.
Sure, that makes sense.
But yeah, I guess we're explore.
The door is over here, you realize. But it's also locked. Or at least it's not budging.
Oh boy.
Oh,
No.
well, better turn around.
Yeah.
We all know how this ends.
Doors, forget it. Okay,
Well,
good session, everybody.
Clay will cast knock.
And the door, you hear the a mechanism unlatch. The door doesn't exactly swing open, but you see it sort of eases down and outward very slightly, and you're able to pull it open.
That's how that's done.
Everybody was just walking away.
Ah,
Yeah,
shit.
It's like
we ain't getting in there.
giant monsters, it can handle that. Doors.
Screw that.
Mm-mm. Not your guy.
Nobody wants that mess.
Our adventuring guild, anything but doors.
ABD.
So it
That's
opens up to a dusty but pretty empty chamber. There is a small opening in the wall on the far side. It's about 5 feet wide. The door is probably about 10 feet wide.
Okay. We'll go in, Teal will go inside and look around. He is gonna inspect to see if there are like loose stones. He's really searching for another elixir. So he's gonna be like kind of scouring and like kind of scrutinizing
So
every seam.
give me an investigation check.
He's not
And
good.
and where in the room are you searching?
He's just gonna start on the left wall and then like kind of work his way around. So like here and then like move up
So-
here.
So clockwise then.
Yeah.
What was your so you don't find anything searching the left wall. Give me a check for the north wall. You find sort of shreds of, or at least remnants of what you gather to be burnt incense. So you're not sure. It was probably some sort of ritually burnt thing. It is sort of ancient and dust now. But there is some signs that this room had some sort of ritual purpose.
Hmm.
But as you make your way over to the entranceway on the other side, I need T-Hole to make me a wisdom save, and everybody else to make me a dex save.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Mhm.
They don't
Come
want
on,
me to make a
second.
deck save.
You don't have to make a deck save. Just the
I know,
wisdom
but
save.
I want to make a deck save.
I mean, you can make all the ones you want. It has no effect. Okay, so as you begin to approach that opening on the far side, Clave, you would have noticed there is Clave in particular, but Keyhole, all of you would have seen there's a faint glowing and about a square foot in a circle on the wall just above the entranceway. And it is a glyph of warding. At the same time, on the wall, on the western wall, there is a second glyph around the center of the wall that lights up just after it. Everybody except Aurelia is caught inside. Well, was Clave inside the room? I thought he was. Maybe Clave is not.
Clave would have waited for everybody else to go in before doing it. He would have, and I'm not saying that just because I rolled shit on my save. Um,
I completely trust that if you had screwed yourself and were inside the room, that you would say you screwed yourself and are inside the room.
Yes.
but yeah,
I
I would
mean-
have I would have cast knock and kind of stepped aside as everybody else kind of wandered in.
So Aurelia, you are able to dodge this and essentially miss it, but uh Zarius and T-Hole, you find yourself caught inside a sphere of force that has surrounded you. And then just after the sphere of force forms, there is a burst of green gas that is centered on T-Hole and fills this sphere of force with poison. And I need you to make a con save, both of you. Aurelia and Clave, you are fine.
Monks
Yeah, I
don't
got it.
monks
got
don't get poisoned.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't say that.
Does he still make a con save?
No, don't worry about it.
I guess this is a moment where inspiration is useful. Because I surely don't want a 4. Let's try this again. I'm gonna use an action point. You'd be shitting me.
It's better than a 4, but
It's
still
not good
probably
enough.
enough.
I'll just take it. It's fine.
I didn't have this open in advance. You take 27 poison damage. And T-Hole is fine. T-Hole is like, brisk.
Anyone
around,
else smelling that?
I assume Kepri rolled and got a 19 on the dex.
That would have
That
gotten
mean-
her outside of it.
Outside of it, okay, cool.
I forgot about Kepri, but yeah, that's fine.
presumably the poison persists.
Yes, the poison persists.
I will attempt to dispel it.
So roll me a caster level check.
I didn't want to. Yeah, I would. That's fine. All right. So cast and then wisdom check.
So you successfully dispel the cloud kill.
That's important. We can deal with the other thing in a second.
And Teal, even though you're immune to the poison, you were temporarily blinded by the tick cloud kill. So at least there's that.
Okay.
Devil's sight. He could see through it.
So this so he would be kind of calm, you know, this feeling he's blinded and he's like, this he just kind of like takes a few deep breaths, and calms himself, and says, "Zarius, can you see?"
Now I can.
Does the blindness go away after the?
Yeah, as the gas itself begins to dissipate, the blindness
Yeah.
goes away. You weren't really
It was-
blind. You just couldn't see because of the gas.
Oh, okay.
Right.
It's
It was a
it's an
cloud kill to
opaque
me. It was just a
fog cloud to
yeah,
Teal.
just fog for you.
After that happens, Clave will walk into the room and examine the barrier surrounding T-Hole and Zarius.
I mean, it just appears to be a bubble of force around them.
Right. Um,
Can they hear me? Can you hear me? I don't know if sound goes through these bubbles.
I think it does.
So I know we leveled up, we haven't rested. New spells that we gained from leveling up. Do
You
we
know,
have
it
access to
says,
those?
I would say yes, but it also says nothing can physically penetrate the wall. So I would say no, sound can't physically penetrate the wall either.
Okay. So Clay would see that you're clearly trying to speak and not hearing. So Clave's gonna back up, and then he's gonna use a silent image to form the words "get back" for T-Hole and Zarius to read.
He'll like just takes it. I mean, I imagine we're like in this sphere that, like, how big is this sphere? Is this
10
like
foot, 10 foot radius,
okay?
with 20 feet across.
So there is space to get back.
Can they
Yeah.
roll it?
It's kind of a hemisphere into the floor, so they can't. It's not an
Oh, okay.
autoloose hamster ball.
Oh, man.
So I'm gonna cast Disintegrate on the sphere.
And that immediately destroys the sphere.
Wow.
Nice shot.
What was that?
T-Hole like would look around and would probably eventually notice the glyphs above the door.
So the glyphs are hard to make out again. You can see them if you get up very close with a good light source. They were previously invisible, but activating them has left them sort of faintly traceable. I would say Clay would be aware that these were probably glyphs of warning.
All right, well, it's clear this area is trapped, and it's trapped for a reason. So goes without saying, but everybody be very careful. Also, let's and then he'll begin mentally speaking to everybody and say, let's switch to nonverbal communication. Just to make sure nothing can hear us as we go.
So who's going through the archway?
Right. Yeah, yeah. I honestly said like Zarius probably like not fully like grasping the telepathic communication. Sometimes he gets it. And then other times he's just like, yeah.
I mean, so yeah, you leave Teal walking through, you enter into a fairly long hallway. It appears to be stone and unused given the level of dust in here, which is even greater than the level of dust in the main temple.
Yeah, after what just happened, Clave is definitely going to let T-Hole take the first steps anywhere.
Yeah, he's
So
gonna be more careful.
is there a marching order? Who's going after T-Hole?
I would go. I would probably be with him.
And is Aurelia staying out?
No. I will follow. I think that's Clave next to me. Don't forget,
Yes.
Clave, you've got Death Ward on you.
I know.
Okay. Okay, I was just reminding you.
Still letting everybody else go first.
No, that's fine. I just didn't know if I had it written down. I just want to make sure.
No, but I appreciate that. I have a marker on my sheet to keep track.
Oh,
Death
okay.
Ward.
Okay, cool.
They start walking down.
As you walk down the hallway, you realize it opens up into a larger chamber beyond, but then the hallway continues on, and it appears as though there's another side chamber further ahead. In the room to the north of you, you see there is a sarcophagus in the middle, and then at the far end, there is additional sarcophagi.
T-Hole looks towards that. He's like, well, that looks promising. And he starts heading that way.
Just like hand on shoulder, like let us examine before walking in. Um, I'll like toss the torch towards the sarcophagus, like bing bing.
Right. It lands on the ground. I mean,
Nothing attacks it.
No, you don't see anything attack it.
It's important.
All right, well, I guess Teal's going to just search around and like look at this, on the floor and see if he can notice any other traps.
They give me an investigation check.
Oh,
It all looks safe. No problems.
no, this looks fine to me. And he
I'll
just
step forward.
starts
Yeah,
walking.
that was like walk with T-Hole probably.
You successfully walk.
Yeah.
Everyone give me an acrobatics check to see how successful the walking is.
I still have the neg one on all my dex checks, so my knee may be good, but that doesn't fit
Oh
my
my
stats.
goodness.
Theo stumbles a bit walking across the floor.
I hope I'm getting my bad rolls out now so that the good ones come later.
Darius goes to catch him and almost stumbles himself.
Right.
I'm actually gonna cast dancing lights and send one down this way and maybe one through the room.
Okay.
I'll post the spell just so we can all see it. Oh, they have to be within 20 feet of each other.
We can set up a little.
I think since everybody's in this room, I would focus on setting the light down here then.
Are there any inscriptions on the sarcophagus? Or writing or?
There is a significant amount of writing on the foot of the sarcophagus. Do you read Thultish?
No. Does Sirius? Just-
Apparently you're not keyed to your vision is not keyed to my little display thing. So I don't know if you could see what the torches are illuminating or not on your screen.
I can.
Um. Yeah, I can see the torches.
Have to figure out why they're doing not just showing up on the, but basically you see that the hallway continues on. There is decoration along the walls of the hallway, but otherwise you don't see anything. At least until you get to the end of the hallway where you can see it opens up into another side chamber. On the south wall, there's an opening to the side chamber.
And nothing attacks the lights that I'm sending.
Nope.
Oh, that's a good sign.
I'll look to T-hole, see it that he can't read it either. I'm like, I cannot read it today.
What do you mean today?
I would have to prepare to be able to read something like this.
Oh,
If
that
you
would,
give me 10 minutes, I could read the literal translation. I don't know if that will help.
well, it would be better than staring at these symbols and not having any idea what they mean.
That's right. Might not. I might be thinking of a different spell. Actually. I don't know. Yeah, no, I can't read it at all. Actually, if it were somebody were speaking it, I would know it then. I could know it. I believe what Clave has would be what we would need.
So I would spend a few minutes casting comprehend languages as a ritual and move over and silently read the words.
Okay, I'll send it to you as a whisper.
I would probably also like make sure to keep an eye up onto the ceiling if I can even see the ceiling. Make sure no more of those fucking stalactites come trying to fall down on us.
Yeah.
Crawling over here in the fullness of time.
If we're not able to see the ceiling because it's too dark, I would send my dancing lights up towards the ceiling.
The ceilings in this part of the chamber are only about 20 feet up, so you can actually see them.
Okay, cool.
Means they probably can't fall very far to really hurt us.
In this particular pose, the sleeves of Tony's shirt are gone. So that was a humorous look. Yeah, actually, before Tony came on, when I was coming back, I looked, I was like, oh, good, Tony's here, but it was just Mike. I was confusing my bald people.
You're trying to say that all bald people look alike?
I am. To me and my bad eyes.
So I would mentally communicate to everybody, this is apparently the final resting place of the creator of the panacea. Zarius, does the name Tiam Ra mean anything to you?
I'm gonna hazard a guess at no, but I can make a roll perhaps.
Yeah, T-hole Aurelia, anybody who's proficient in history, but including Aurelia, and T-hole can also roll a history check.
I'm not proficient.
Then you really wouldn't know who T-hole Mara is.
Come on, man. I don't know. Feels like I could have better uses for action points.
Yeah. I would not recommend spending an action point on this. But we'll see if Aurelia knows. Teal, you do have sort of vague sense that the name is somehow familiar, but you can't place it.
Ra.
Yeah.
Can you spell that?
Tiom, new word RA.
Gotcha.
The name Ra on purpose.
Yeah, probably. This is Temple of Sekhmet. It's unlikely that Ra was used accidentally.
Sure,
And her spear was made by Ra for her, so
indeed. Well, I have a diamond. This guy's way too old. I can't resurrect this guy.
this guy's dead at least 1,000 years.
And even then, they might not want to come back.
Well, we can maybe speak with dead. But well, I won't do that either. The body is not visible, I presume.
No, this is a stone sarcophagus. Like you would know at least like general information if, assuming this is all still intact, once you open up the stone sarcophagus, there's probably like a coffin inside,
Mhm.
likely made of more precious substance than just stone. And then the body would be inside that.
Right. Yeah, well, we can't get to that, so.
This is the creator of the panacea. Maybe they took some with them.
They did. It was out there. We drank it.
I mean, maybe they were buried with some. So, would T-hole know if that was like a custom of like if that was a custom of kind of royals during the like a Foltish reign?
Give me another history check.
Let the good rolls continue.
Yeah, you're not really sure. I mean, you know things were buried with people, but like you don't know if it was inside the sarcophagus with them or around them. You're sure things were buried around them. You don't know how much things were put inside the sarcophagus directly, though.
Gotcha. It's just a theory anyway.
It would mean that we would have to defile this grave even further.
I mean, I feel like that hasn't stopped me before.
I might have to now.
And everyone, I guess Aurelia when Aurelia gets back, but everyone else make me a perception check.
Oh my goodness. What is with these rolls?
Checking to see what Aurelia's perception was. +5. Yep, nobody hears anything.
Damn. My 17 is less than my passive.
I mean, yeah, you think you hear like the sound of like a rock slide off in the distance, but otherwise nothing seems like it's going on.
Sure. Not a dragon just barreling down on us.
You're actually surrounded by ninjas, but failed.
Right.
So you would, moving the dancing lights, you would also find there are 2 other sarcophagi at either end of this room.
Yeah. Kind of start wandering over to them.
They are both abnormally wide, at least for a humanoid. So you're not exactly sure what sort of creature they house.
Are there any like pictures?
There are additional glyphs in Thultish. Can Clave still read them?
Should last for a while.
Well,
Sorry, I said I should have that spell for an hour.
Yep.
It's not concentration, so.
yeah, so you should be able to read it.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait until you guys get over there and nothing happens. And then I'll mosey over.
I'll have Kepri like invisibly over here, or perhaps clinging just anything up towards the ceiling, keeping an eye out. She at least has dark vision.
Okay, so this one says uh it is the companion of Tian Ra. Ethereal. And the other one is Gurian. Can I make a
both
history
sides,
check
or
to see if I know those names?
Sure. Are you proficient in history?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, I need Aurelia to also make me a history check. So you would know that Aphariel and Gorion were 2 angels who were featured sort of prominently in the Dawn War, but that was like tens of thousands of years ago. you would not necessarily be aware of any connection to them, to anyone named Tion Ra, since you didn't know who that was.
Oh. These are, if these writings are correct, these are the remains of angels. But that seems unlikely. I mean, angels? Nobody wants to chime in here? That there may be literal angels in these stone sarcophagi? No? Nobody
I was
thinks that's
looking-
weird, just me?
I was looking for a spell that might help us verify this. Yeah, hang on, so. No, I don't have it fucking prepared. Of course not. I don't have detect evil and good, so. Is that on both sides, or is that what was written on this side, or on? Did you give them both?
Checking out both of them, I would say you just checked out both of them. One, Afariel is on one side, Goran is on the other.
I do not know how angels perish. It is conceivable that they could be buried.
Yeah, but actual angels existing? I mean, well,
Why not?
certainly I've seen strange things. Why not angels? But still, I mean,
Just because they have died does not means they have not continued on in spirit. Even the gods could be killed.
aren't angels spirits?
In their natural form, perhaps. Who says they cannot take on flesh in order to do their god's bidding?
What is the common, like, consensus on the existence of angels and their interactions with mortals?
So angels very rarely interact with mortals. There are more stories of them. Like I would say it is pretty common knowledge that you can physically meet and interact with a physical devil. Nonetheless, there's sort of the folk belief that demons and devils can also be these sort of incorporeal forces that just plague you. But they can sometimes take on physical forms as well and exist for long periods of time as like separate physical bodies. Angels are very much like that in that you can have angels that are incorporeal and watch over you and do good things for you in the same way that demons might plague you with illnesses. On occasion in stories, angels do take physical forms, particularly in the old stories of the Gods' War at the beginning of time. There were plenty of angels who took on physical form to fight the chaos. But in more recent times, like the past 10 millennia, it's very rare for an angel to take on a physical form. That said, one appeared to kill off the prior version of T-Hole. So sometimes it happens.
Sometimes lightning strikes. Maybe it'll strike twice.
And that was at least it was at least mentioned to Clave that a prior version of T-Hole was killed off by an angel.
Right? Yeah, Clave didn't see that.
They would have paid money to see that, though.
it wouldn't have been as impressive. That was just a wizard T hole.
Right.
Wasn't a
As with
proper fight.
devils, yeah, as with devils though, as far as you know, when an angel dies, it should return to its home plane. It shouldn't just physically die. Yeah, it's also well known that in some way that when Aasimar are born, they are in some way touched by celestials. So there's plenty of evidence for celestials in general, and angels are just one version of them.
Angel is just a generic term, like human.
Well, I mean, at the very least, you would guess that angel is so angel might be a kind of being, but it's probably also just used generally to mean like celestial spirit. It's a little imprecise the way the average, like the common person uses the term. In the same way that demon and devil is often sort of misused. Like technically a Yugoloth isn't either, a succubus isn't either a demon or a devil, but they'll get called that.
Hmm. Makes sense. So these are angels from the God's War.
Angels and devils are also otherwise famously immortal, so it's not inconceivable that they could survive the God's War and then were still alive when this temple was built.
I mean, Sarius, I know you have a thing about desecrating graves, but this seems like a once in a lifetime chance to see the remains of an angel. But additionally, an angel having physical remains seems suspicious. These may be things meant to keep out those that might fear desecrating graves as a means of protecting what might be contained within.
Perhaps I would know of some like rite that could be performed, or that perhaps I went back at home, right? Whenever I was gravekeeping
Mhm.
and whatnot, I probably had to put people like this in probably not as grand a structure, but you know, might there be some? I would assume maybe I don't know Egyptian stuff, so like some sort of rite that I would have performed in order to reopen a grave that has been put in.
I mean, I would say you would definitely know rituals that were,
Not
designed to,
necessarily magical in nature, just ceremonial. But
right,
yeah,
that were designed to sort of placate the dead on those occasions when you did have to enter a tomb.
right. I just let me perform the rites.
Very well.
What
Whatever needs
exactly
to
is our
happen.
plan again?
We're gonna open up these tombs and see if they're buried with a panacea.
I
Uh-huh.
don't know if they'll be buried with panacea, but I mean, something probably.
If we are careful, we should not incur the wrath of the gods.
Okay. Less wrath is good.
Agreed. And I'll just start. Give me some time. I imagine it's like an hour.
Right. So yeah, you were able to, after about an hour, complete the ritual. Which one are you doing it to? You would have to pick one of the sarcophagi for this ritual.
I would ask if there was a preference. I mean, we can go right to the big one, right?
Well, they're all, well,
Well, I mean,
yeah,
the middle one, I should say, the more prominent one.
I think let's open up one of the angel sarcophagi.
Well, who's to say this one isn't an angel? Just
Um,
because we did not recognize a name.
Well, these are clearly different. If there are angels, it would seem more likely that the less human version of the sarcophagi are more likely to contain something not quite humanoid.
What exactly is your goal?
To see an angel.
That has not been my goal.
I mean,
I basically
Sure.
like as I was preparing for the ritual, I would probably put on the glove, the gauntlet, that lets me speak with dead,
Right.
and begin the process of attuning to it. I will probably de-attune to my staff for now. It seems okay.
Right. I would say you would have to take 2 hours to do that. You would need to do, the ritual would take up your focus. So you couldn't also be focusing on attuning to the glove.
We want to take a short rest, guys. let me prepare myself, and then I will perform the rituals.
okay.
Very well. We're gonna take a short rest, then I'm gonna spend a couple hit die. Yeah, that'll work. Well, Zarius would be doing that. I think T-Hole would be kind of restless and just walking, look, he'd want to go look at the other grave. Assuming that we hadn't done that yet.
You did look at both of the sarcophagi on both ends of the hall here.
Oh, okay.
So one is Gurion and one is the other one. What's her name
Gotcha.
already?
Yeah. Ethereal.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Fariel.
I thought they were one or two sarcophagi right next to each other, not on both ends. But yeah, that makes sense.
The two at the ends just happen to be about twice as wide as the one in the middle.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The ritual should be fine. I mean, I performed the ritual. We should be able to open any of them theoretically.
Right. Well, I mean, like I said, so the ritual, you basically have to address the dead that you're about to disturb. So you would pick one, perform the ritual, and then once you're completed with the ritual, you'd be okay to open up that tomb.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, again, my vote would be for the middle one
Lame.
first.
Agreed. Let's do it.
All right. right here. Actually, right here.
Clay was like, all right, and then he walks out of the room.
You do you.
So who is trying to open this sarcophagus and how? It appears to be just a giant stone plate with the relief of a man built into it, resting on top of a stone, uh, essentially ossuary, a giant stone box.
Does it look like that you just like shove the top off?
Uh, typically, no. Sometimes that is the case, but since this is otherwise a fairly highly stylized grave, you would imagine you will have to lift it up first, as it's probably slotted into the box.
Well, good thing we just got some potions of giant strength.
We'll just see
Yeah,
if
I
we
mean,
can
it doesn't
do it without it.
necessarily seem like it would be impossible to do alone. I don't know what your respective strengths are, but it probably, you'd have to lever it up because it probably weighs 1,000 pounds at least.
Yeah.
I have
Once
a
you lever it
16
up and
strength.
out, though, then you could probably slide it, drag it along. So we'll figure out what your maximum lift weight is.
Yeah, crowbar. I have a crowbar.
Yeah. Field got a score of 19. So I mean he's pretty strong.
I will hand you the crowbar.
So you just like see these wiry arms just like moving this thing up like it's no problem.
Yeah. So with the crowbar, you are able to begin to get it up. It would not necessarily be something you could easily just lift up directly. But it's going to take a little bit of work to get it out. So you can give me an athletics check with advantage. So you are able to lift it up and begin to angle it out. And as you do so, you see there is a flash inside. And you begin to hear the sound of stone grinding at either side of this chamber. Almost immediately, you see there is a burst of golden light from both of the sarcophagi on the end as angels begin to climb out of them, not looking dead, looking very much alive.
I made the right choice, backing up right here.
How much space is like how much can you see inside the sarcophagus?
Yeah.
Inside the sarcophagus in front of you.
Yes.
You can look down and see into it. There does appear to be a smaller golden sarcophagus inside the bigger one.
Okay.
Hold on just a second. Finding the angels. So you realize as you see this hulking form of an angel crawl out of either side, they are glowing quite brightly. They're also not exactly what you imagined. You can see why the box was so wide because they're both winged, but they both have sort of grayish black wings, and you can see both seem to have talons on the end, hooked talons on the ends of their long arms, and both seem to possess a black halo. And everyone can roll initiative.
They've been corrupted.
Token size came out wrong.
Or maybe that's just how angels look.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who knows?
Maybe they're all goth. Oh,
Who's it doing this?
oh, there we go.
I'm not sure why this isn't turning up on the share screen. What setting do I have to set for the share screen to see what everyone else sees? I don't know, but they'll be moving soon enough. So T-Hole, you go first
Well,
Are you logged in on the share screen as player or DM?
as player.
good thing we short rested.
Oh, it do you have it set where everybody's character is editable by the share screen account?
I don't know if I do or not.
That's how I got it to work on mine.
So I will look into that another time. As I said, they will sort of be moving into view soon enough. Or you guys will move up to them.
Hmm. Uh, T-Hole is going to, well, he's going to spend is it 3 Kai points. Yeah, 3 Kai points to summon his arms and the Visage. This is bonus action, and then he's going to uh he's gonna run basically over here and try to get behind the wall
Mm-hmm.
to get some form of cover for his movement, and then he's gonna use his action to take the dodge action.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope, that'll be it.
Um,
Clave or Zarius could go.
Zarius, you can go first.
I'm honestly not sure what I would even do in this sort of situation. They're all far away from me. I'll just move, I guess. Um, yeah, because I can't. This place is too long for me to touch them yet. Yeah. Um, I feel like in this instance, I would probably wait a moment for them. As soon as I see them, like actually take a hostile action towards anyone, then I will Sacred Flame them. But otherwise, that's it.
Okay, hold on. So, Aurelia, you're still outside the room. Kepri sort of waiting at the entrance.
Yeah, invisibly, I had
for-
her kind of like clinging to the top if possible.
Okay,
Clave.
So, Clave is telepathically going to say to Zarius and T-Hole, well, I take it by the sounds of stone crunching. The angels are up, or whatever was in there.
Certainly something is.
Should have started with them.
It wouldn't have mattered.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So, Clave is assessing the situation, seeing these two things of unknown power rising from sarcophagi that have been ostensibly for thousands of years. And he's gonna be saying to himself, yeah, not not today. He is going to target this one
hmm
with Wall of Force, creating a sphere to enclose that angel.
okay. I generally give them a deck save.
Doesn't say that you get a save though.
Doesn't say you automatically trap people though.
Kind of does.
Let me look at the spell. Maybe I'm misremembering.
I mean,
I
it
gave
specifically.
I gave Zarius a save because he wasn't, but he was also wasn't the direct target. Teal was the direct target.
Well, it does say that specifically if the wall cuts through a creature's space when it appears, the creature is pushed to one side of the wall. My choice is the caster which side.
Okay, fair enough. I'll say he's trapped then.
And then I'm gonna use my last 5 feet to go this way. Actually, if this is if I can, I'll go diagonal. And telepathically, Clay will say, all right, hopefully I just trap one of them. We'll see how long it lasts.
This one is going to fly forward. As it takes off, you hear the sound of chains clinking, and you see it is trailing behind it a long black chain that is wrapped around its neck and torso. But it is going to double move and fly up to Clave at this point.
Fuck.
But that's its turn.
How far back does the chain drag?
At least, like, it seems to be coming directly out of the sarcophagus, so you're not sure what the limits on this chain are, but it's
Okay.
at least 90 or so feet so far.
So it's actually tethered to the sarcophagus.
It seems to be.
That's
Check
cool.
this thing for traps.
And it's Aurelia's turn.
Where's the other one?
The other one is at the end of this hallway here, inside a bubble of force.
Okay, all right, that, okay. Oh, boy.
So, and this one, you can see the chain also ends in a collar that's sort of wrapping around the creature's neck. And it definitely appears hostile. So if Zarius wants to loose his spell, he can.
Uh,
I mean, he would also have formed, as he reached Clave, he would also have formed just a great sort of pure fire in his hand that he's clearly brandishing at Clave.
yeah, all right.
So,
Yeah, so we'll do the Sacred Flame.
and there is a black flash from the creature's halo
Okay.
as it absorbs the spell.
Okay, got it.
And it's
Okay.
Aurelia's turn.
Hmm. Shit. I guess I will try to Eldritch Blast this dude. Ooh, look at that, 1 force damage.
That's a hit.
What is taking so long? Oh, okay.
That's a miss.
Yeah. All right, I'll look
Okay.
around, see if there's anything else crawling out of some hole.
Not that you can see.
All right.
T-hole, it's your turn.
T-hole's going to uh hmm. He's going to pull out the staff of striking and waltz up to the chain angel. Do the chains like does it are the chains still kind of slack?
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's at the limit of his chain.
Okay. Yeah, so he's gonna whack him.
It's a hit.
And with 1, and then he's gonna punch him with necrotic damage. And then he's gonna attempt a stunning strike.
It's stunned.
And then he's gonna start blasting. So then he'll hit him again with, oh, let me add the martial arts die. And then he's gonna hit him with his 2 arm attacks for his bonus action.
Those both hit.
Does the necrotic and damage seem like it's having any effect on this creature? Teal's not
It's seemed to have an effect.
like more or less than you anticipate.
About what you would anticipate.
Okay. And that's gonna be his turn. How did I get? Wow, I got max damage on 3 of those attacks.
And he's not looking so good. So Clave's turn.
He is stunned,
He is stunned.
backing up. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And then I'm gonna hit him with the Mind Sliver. I'm also gonna use my bonus action to transform into my true form. And there.
He failed.
And then that's my turn.
Okay, Zarius.
I can't really do anything.
Yes, you can. You can support us.
But
Or he's
you don't need.
stunned. You could smack him with your staff.
I was gonna say supporting you right now isn't useful. You don't need supporting. Yeah, I could hit him, but if you recall, I deattuned to my staff, so I can't like use that ability. It's like it would just be a base damage thing, which still would be funny because it has this stupid fucking electricity running through it. So let's. Yeah, I mean, whatever. I guess I can just do that. Still looking rough, I guess.
Still stunned.
This is yeah. So
That hits.
nice. And then I back away again, I guess. I don't know.
He is stunned. Teal Aurelia's turn.
Let's see. I'll just hit him with some more Eldritch Blast. I have advantage, right? He's stunned, yeah.
He's stunned, yeah.
19.
That hits.
Come on. 21.
21 hits too.
Okay.
Okay, those are all hits. He is still up though.
Okay.
So T-Hole, it's your turn again.
Gonna hit him with the staff of striking. And then I'm gonna expend 3 charges. Chilla has 1 charge left.
Okay.
And it's 3d6 force damage.
And the angel falls to its knees, panting. And you see there's a dark figure standing in the corner up by the wall who says, my, time to finally collect my due. And you see the soul of the angel is ripped from its body and flies over to the figure in the shadows, who then vanishes. And he's dead. The body slumps over. The light of his magic sword goes out, and the sword vanishes.
Where was that at?
He was up in like this corner.
Okay.
Teal's going to move across and head to that corner.
There's
Yeah, like-
nobody there now.
That you could see.
Right.
Well,
The other angel, meanwhile, was just screaming in rage, and scratching against the edges of the invisible wall of force in front of him, beating his fiery sword against the walls of the bubble of force.
Alright, well, you guys wanna move in, get ready. I'll drop concentration.
yeah,
I would probably have taken a turn to at least do like walk up a little ways and do the eyes of the grave, just to make sure that whatever the hell that was wasn't undead and still here.
Uh, do Eyes of the Grave only detect undead?
Yeah.
Then you don't detect anything.
Yeah, it's unfortunately not as cool as the paladin ability.
Teal's gonna I'm gonna spend an action point for my bonus action to do patient defense. Take dodge action. But that'll be his turn.
Did the halo disappear too?
Yes.
Okay.
Are we going up to the wall?
Right. There are still the chains, still chained to the sarcophagus.
Alright. Well, I am comfortable here where I'm at. If you guys want to move up in position and I'll drop the concentration on the wall of force.
I'm ready. Once I get closer.
Yeah, I mean, I assume we can kind of take a turn, a turn or two, right? How long does that wall last?
Oh, it's got 10 minutes.
Yeah, we can take all the time we need. Just about. Any? I don't know if I feel like I need any preparatory spells.
Well,
I can try and
So,
banish it.
so presumably you're all sort of preparing an action, a reaction to take when the wall drops.
yep.
So
Yeah.
let me know what the reaction you're taking is, and if you're staying where you are, obviously.
I just got to be within 60 feet.
I mean, Teal would move as close as he can to the wall. Yeah.
Well, that would put you right next to him because he is also as close as he can be to the end of the wall.
Okay. No,
Yeah,
he
it's a sphere. He's contained within a sphere of force. Kind
gotcha.
of like how you were when the trap went off.
He wouldn't take well, I guess he would be like, 20 feet away or something. No, 30 feet.
So it's only a 10-foot radius sphere, so it's not that huge a thing.
I just, perhaps this might work. I'm gonna cast banishment on it. Whenever it drops, it's like the first thing I want to do.
Okay.
Teal's going to just if it comes within range, he's going to strike it.
Sure.
So you don't want to go right up next to it to strike it?
No,
Okay.
he's within his movement, but just in case he does something where he like has some sort of like area of effect or radius thing that when he bursts out,
Okay.
just
So
gonna
everyone's ready?
Yeah, I'm gonna hit it with Eldritch Blast.
Alright, so I drop concentration and immediately cast Phantasmal Killer on it.
Right. And you can all take your actions and he takes the action he was preparing because he's been pressing up against the wall waiting for this moment. So first let's resolve the Eldritch Blast. Because he may wind
Okay.
up disappearing to the banishment. So we'll handle
Okay.
that one last.
Okay.
That's a hit. That's a hit.
Oh.
That's not a hit.
no.
There we go.
Teal, what were you doing?
He was gonna punch it as soon as it came within range.
Okay. It's not actually moving at this instant. So now the Phantasmal Killer. DC 18. Is that a wisdom save? Yeah.
It is.
He fails. So he is frightened.
I'm also going to use the rest of my turn to move here.
So this isn't a turn. These are all reactions.
Well,
It
it's on my turn. Like my turn, I drop concentration, cast a spell, move.
Okay, but before you can move, he's taking his reaction that he was preparing.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
actually, it doesn't really matter. You're outside the range of what he was going to do.
Okay,
But
cool. So I don't have to see my friends die.
probably not die. At least there's that much. They will probably survive this.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. So I need Zarius and T-Hole to make me
Did he make his charisma save?
he's doing all of this is happening simultaneously, so I'm dealing with the ones
Gotcha.
that do
Okay.
damage first.
I gotcha.
So I need you to make me strength saving throws.
Who all
Alright.
does?
No, just T-Hole and Zarius.
Oh,
Gotcha. I'm gonna use an action point because that's BS. There we go.
So you're not knocked prone by this burst of radiant energy. And you take 7 points of radiant damage. And now he'll make his charisma save or attempt to make his charisma save.
7
That is
points.
Yeah, so he made his charisma save. He is not banished.
Okay.
And now Clave ends his turn and it's Arius's turn.
I'm going to the wall to this place is what, here?
Yeah,
Like the end of the wall? Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, fuck it. So I imagine, I don't know who specifically it might be, but oh, what's the range on it again? I think it's 60 feet too, isn't it? That's 30 feet on that one. Okay. I have to get closer. Yeah, so I'm going to use my channel divinity to invoke his swift return to the grave. So the next thing that hits him with an attack roll he will be vulnerable to.
Okay.
Theoretically, normally that's Teal. Sometimes it's Aurelius. I don't know what. We'll see what happens, I guess. And so that's one of my channels. And then I'm only. Do I want to potentially? What's my spell slots? Yeah, fuck it. Since I can't hit this guy right now, I'll just I'll cast Sanctuary on myself.
Okay.
I don't know why I did it that way, but okay. There it is. Since I'm going to be standing right next to Teal.
I mean, I
And
guess
then
that
I'm-
makes it, guess that makes it easy since there's an aversion to attacking you.
Yeah, exactly. I can heal Teal. Probably.
So he raises his fiery greatsword high and attacks Teal.
Cool. Can I get my reaction now?
What's your you already used your reaction. Oh no, you're right. You didn't.
Because yeah, I
you're
was
right.
waiting till he
Yeah,
came. and
you can take your attack before he goes.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
Because obviously you're gonna stun him and his fight's gonna be over.
It depends if a 17 hits.
17 hits.
And then I'll do. The 6 does not hit. Or
The
the
six-
11.
The 11 does not hit.
I will attempt to stun him.
He's stunned.
He goes, and you just like fucking pop him right in the nose. Like, ow, fuck.
Is there anything else Teal's doing? Your martial arts die?
Does. Yeah, I guess
I'll
that
work
is
on it.
during.
Is it each turn or once during your turn?
It says on your turn, but like since this is like.
Okay.
This
This
isn't
is
my
not yeah,
turn.
this is not really your turn.
Yeah, so I don't think it counts in this case.
Okay, so Aurelia's turn. And he's still stunned. That still does not hit though. That does. That does. Anything else you're doing?
Oh, that first damage he got hit with, what he was vulnerable to.
That's right.
The 10.
Are you doing anything else?
You're muted, Peter.
No, I'm not gonna do anything else. I just moved up.
Okay. Heal.
He will hit him with his arms.
He will not. Not that time.
He will
That time.
attempt.
That time he hit.
Just starts laying into him.
He's bobbing and weaving. That's the one that you missed.
And that'll be his turn.
Clave.
So Clave is gonna step around, see the situation, assess that it's going well. And then he will cast Firebolt.
That misses.
He's stunned, I thought.
He was stunned until the end of Teal's turn.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not stunned anymore. Okay. And then back up. That's my turn.
Zarius.
Again, I can't hit him, so T-hole looks okay. He's not hurt.
Nope. He
I
hasn't
don't want
been
to.
hit yet.
I don't want to lose my sanctuary.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, I don't want to lose my sanctuary. So, I guess I could do. Maybe I could do that. How far? What's the goddamn range of this? 30 feet. Okay. I guess if he wants to try and hit me, he can attempt to as I walk away.
Yeah, he'll do that. You have to make a wisdom save.
Yeah, DC 18.
I can't.
He like rears like I'm like no. I can't see T-hole or not T-hole, Clave. So I can't bless him. So I guess I'll get blessed. So I'm going to use one of the beads on the prayer beads that has the bless on it, I believe. I thought I had it open. I didn't. Let me find it. Prayer beads. Bless, yeah. Yeah, so I could do that twice apparently, but all right. So I'm going to use one of the aquamarine beads to give bless to T-hole, Aurelia, and I guess myself since I cannot see Clave.
Okay.
So an additional D4 on attack rolls and saving throws.
Anything else you're doing?
Nope.
Okay, so on the Angel's turn. Sorry, that's not it. So on the Angel's turn, T-hole, Zarius, and Aurelia make me strength saving throws. As he's going to blast you with his fallen glory again.
Is that what they call it nowadays?
Yes.
Strength save, you said?
Yep.
Just made it. So then he started blasting.
So Zarius, you are knocked prone and take the full 15 radiant damage. The other
Did you add your
take-
bless?
That's true,
I
you
did
didn't
not.
add your bless. So you
Uh,
probably make it.
An extra one.
Nope.
So you still did not make it. So you take 15 radiant damage and you're knocked prone. Aurelia and T-hole, you take 7 radiant damage and you're not knocked prone. And he's going to take a sword attack against T-hole.
You still have bless. I made the save.
Yep, that misses.
That's his turn. Aurelia.
That's a jerk. Eldritch Blast. Come on, roll, dude.
That's a hit.
So slow. Blast attack.
13 misses.
Got a D4 to add. Come on, dice. Come on. Huh. 14. Nope. Let's see.
So the first two hit for decent damage.
I'll take a couple steps back.
T-hole.
He's gonna hit him with I guess his arms. $12, and then with his bonus action, he'll do the 2.
So the first two missed, the third one hit,
Yeah,
fourth one hit.
16 hits.
16 hits, yeah.
Okay.
He was stunned.
And then it gets a 7 for the martial arts.
Okay.
And that'll be his turn.
Okay. Clave. You're talking, Mike. We can't hear you. At least I can't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I couldn't see if you
I'm
were.
sorry. So I look around, see things are still going generally our way, and I cast the Mind Sliver.
So he fails.
And once more hide into behind the wall.
Darius.
Yeah, cool. How's T-hole looking?
Not very damaged.
Cool. Then let's see here. Can I go?
Are you standing up?
Oh yeah, that's right. I was not prone. Yeah, so I'll stand up. And then yeah, I don't really have anything good to do here. Yeah, I'll just I'm gonna move 5, 10, 15. I guess I'll dash 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
So
That
you
way
had to
I'm
use
not-
half, you had to use half your movement to stand up. So but you're
Yeah.
dashing now?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Because I don't want to like continue to be in the fucking, area of effect of that damn thing. I'd rather be here, and then maybe at some point I can, just say, all right, it's probably okay to hit him.
Is
And
this where we
drop
first
sanctuary.
noticed that Zarius doesn't have his limp?
No, I still only use 30 feet of movement. So I did hustle a little bit more by doing the dash. So you know what? It's possible I've never dashed before. I don't know. I think I have. But I have now.
mean,
and nothing else to do with my bonus action. So,
Before we finalize this, make me a perception check.
okay. Oh, come on, dude. Really? Yeah, I really need to give myself proficiency in that skill. Then my
So-
passive will fucking skyrocket.
So you don't notice what I thought you might have noticed.
Sure. That's it for me.
Okay. I did this out of order. We just check to see if yeah, okay. He's not getting his thing back. So he is going to attack T-Hole.
I'll negate that.
Okay, so it's 32 damage then. And then a miss.
T-Hole's going to hold on a sec, let me see if no, I meant to do that. He's gonna use his reaction to negate some of that fire damage.
Okay. So it was 20. How much did you deflect?
Yeah, I gotta roll. Plus 4. Plus 4. Did I roll a 0?
Apparently you rolled a 0 because you
Slash
rolled
or
one
1d10.
1d0. That said, I now see you have to roll a 1 to negate all 20 damage. So you
Yeah.
negate.
Yeah. So he negates at least the fire damage, but he still takes the slashing.
Right. And it's Aurelia's turn.
Roll 20. Slow. All right, Eldritch Blast. Yeah, that's it. Over here. Slower than crap. Yeah.
So you hit twice. The round ends, and you all begin, now that you've seen this dark figure once before, you see the shadows are gathering in the far corner beyond the angel's sarcophagus into a vaguely humanoid shape. And it's Clave's turn. Sorry, it's Teal's turn.
By the sarcophagus.
Yeah, but on the far side of it, in the corner,
So
in
yeah,
the darkness.
T-hole would,
So the sarcophagus this angel came out of
oh, this angel came out of.
But
Yeah,
the
so
angel's not dead yet,
over
right?
here. Right. And it just appears as though the shadows are gathering. You're not sure that there's a person there yet, but
Gotcha,
they seem to be forming a vaguely humanoid shape.
gotcha. Alright. He's going to attack the angel.
Second one's a hit. Third one's a hit. Fourth one's a hit. And you see the angel screams, and his head looks up towards the ceiling. And you watch as its soul is again dragged from its body and absorbed by the shadowy figure in the corner. That's two. You guys really should consider just hiring yourselves out. You're very useful. And the shadows disperse.
What do you pay?
Do we have business cards? Did somebody bring the business cards? The Colossus and the Deadpool?
Well, I mean, you are the Colossus and the Deadpools. He just has to go to your office,
Yeah,
hire
exactly.
the whole group.
That's what I'm saying. Did anybody bring any, business cards? Let this guy know.
So, and the room goes silent again.
I just like peer into the shadows and whatnot. Reveal yourself.
Clave comes from around the corner. Zarius, who are you talking to?
One collecting their souls.
Oh, it happened again?
Yes.
Well,
I'm gonna have a quick look inside.
Inside, you see it is fairly, it is not exactly what you were expecting. So there is no inner sarcophagus inside the stone sarcophagus, but it is lined with padding and silk, all of which appears to be strangely pristine, given that this has probably been here for quite a while. Could have been, as far as you could tell, have been installed, the day before. You do see there is a length of black chain. It's only about 18 feet. And it doesn't seem to be affixed to anything inside the sarcophagus, but it leads to the body of the now deceased angel. Actually, I'm sorry. It is longer than I was miscounting. It is longer than 18 feet. It's about 28 feet. But it's not bound to the sarcophagus in any way. It's bound to the angel. One end just happens to still be in the sarcophagus.
I'm gonna Teal's just gonna give it the chain of yank to see if it comes out of the sarcophagus.
Yeah, it does.
Hmm. What does it appear to be made out of? Like now that we're kind of not imminently getting attacked.
So inspecting it under the light, you would guess, although the coloration is pure black, it seems to just be iron, is your guess. Doesn't even seem to necessarily be steel, it's just iron.
Does it appear, I mean, I guess Teal wouldn't know whether or not it's appears magical.
It definitely doesn't appear magical. It appears to be more like the same sort of workaday chain you would use on any of your slaves.
Gotcha. We moved.
Well, we started this by opening the other sarcophagus. Perhaps we finish this by continuing with that work.
Is there a thing over here?
Hold on, I didn't see where you are. I have to clear this thing.
Is there something?
Or is this just a wall that didn't get set?
Yeah, it's at the wall. It didn't quite connect, I guess.
All right. Like, guys, there's a path.
He can find the puppet masters at last. We can go outside the bounds of the map.
Yeah,
So let's take a quick 5-minute break so I can see what's annoying my dogs.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
I just realized that I went that whole fight without using the phantasmal killer.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that too. Could have died earlier. Oh, that wasn't what I wanted.
Hmm. Weird.
Well, it's weird.
So I noticed that on my character sheet that my proficiency like hasn't updated since I've
Mhm.
leveled up. And it was like back at 3. So like I changed because I thought it would I thought it was like tied to your
It generally is. I'm surprised it didn't update when you changed your level.
so I like manually changed it. And then it's now applying correctly to attacks, but it's still not applying to my skills.
I'm not sure why that would be, but yeah, you're right.
I think there's different fields for I think that maybe there are separate fields for
Yeah, I mean, I'm used to the proficiency bonus updating automatically because it's, part of the character sheet that you have a
yeah.
set proficiency bonus.
Yeah,
It's definitely not that when you level up, you have to like manually go in and reset things, like especially not reset attacks and then reset proficiencies and then reset saves. It's usually automatic. So somewhere there's some setting that's been screwed with. I'm not sure where that would be. So probably somewhere under the gear, but I can't poke around somebody's character sheet without like essentially competing for control with them. So I can't do that just now.
yeah, no worries. I'll figure out what's going on.
But yeah, I'm not sure where it might be.
Proficiency bonus. Oh, it's set to custom.
Ah,
That's why. Yeah. Today I learned. All right, now that's working. I probably did that and I didn't know what I was doing.
yeah, it happens.
That's cool. T-Hole just became +2 better at everything. Because he's been holding
Yeah.
himself back this whole time.
He doesn't like to play the game on easy mode like the rest of you noobs. Doesn't give himself spells when he's entitled to new spells. Doesn't let his proficiency bonus auto update like the rest of you. Now I'm wondering, have you been rocking the +3 proficiency bonus for like the past 4 levels when it should have been a +4?
I was, yeah. Yeah, it just hasn't updated. Because I thought it did. And then because when I was looking at like what are gonna level up, I was like, oh, like you know, it's my proficiency bonus gonna go up finally to 4, and then I realized, oh. It
Should be 5.
it should be 5. It's all right. Sometimes I'm not good at the logistic side of things, I guess.
So the angels are dead.
The angels
I
are-
mean, right. Now the silk cloth inside these sarcophagi might be worth something, as it is very fine silk, and it is probably magically unaged.
You know,
And in the old
It
Fultish
seems
style.
like it seems like something T-Hole would make use of.
does the silk, if he rubs it, does it swish? Like
And it-
silk pants that he had made for him.
it doesn't do that automatically, but if you bunch it up, yes, it can be made to swish.
So yeah, T-Hole's
It is
gonna
it is also much softer than the silk of your silk pants.
T-Hole's
Possibly because it's been slept on by 1,000 years by angels.
like sleeping with angels. He's gonna take the silk. But you know, we'll offer it to Zarius in case Zarius or if anybody else wants garb that was slept by angels.
Um,
Yeah,
That
it's
is
it's
okay.
not exactly clothing yet. It is essentially just the cloth itself, but it could be turned into something. I mean, there's about 15 by 10 feet of silk in each individual sarcophagus.
the makings of new robes. That's what that looks like. I'm gonna go over to this middle one again.
Yeah, the lid has been sort of shifted off. It's not completely off the top of it yet.
Yeah. Um, is T-Hole gonna help with this one again, or
Yes, and he just looks like kind of lost and feeling the silk. He's like, let's get it off here and hopefully find something useful.
So
Like
taking the
another-
crowbar back up, you're easily able to lever the top off of the stone sarcophagus. Inside is this golden, smaller sarcophagus with the face of a human male on it. His arms are raised up in a traditional desert pose of a high priest.
Is it like a? Is it? Is it's a like a gold? It's a gold sarcophagus.
Yeah. So you can picture King Tut's golden sarcophagus is similar to that, although it seems
Okay.
to be of an older human than him.
not
So
a
it is
teenager?
right. It is also inlaid with gemstones of various kinds. Probably also extremely heavy because there's a lot of gold in it. But potentially very valuable. Certainly historically priceless. Or you could let Clave melt it down for like shadow gold value.
It'll start like trying to feel for a seam to pop the top off of this one.
So it's not hard. It is not even something you have to search for. It is easy to find where the top will lift off. And it's not quite as heavy as the stone top. So you are able to get it up and presumably place it on the floor beside the sarcophagus.
Inside is a smaller sarcophagus.
Yes, it's sarcophagi all the way down till you get to
knew
like
it.
the pixie who was once high priest of this whole shrine. Now inside you find the mummified remains of a human. Around him there are various inside the interior sarcophagus. You can see there are inlaid just depictions of scenes probably from his life. You prominently featured is his defeating some sort of devilish feature in hand-to-hand combat alongside two very much unchanged angels that still look like the two you defeated.
Do I know if do we see the remains like wrapped up, or how's it looking?
Yeah, the remains are wrapped up.
Are these wrappings as pristine as the angel ones?
No, actually, nothing in this seems to be as pristine as the angel ones.
Got it. Goddamn angels. Okay. And then presumably the mouth is basically covered. Well, maybe not. I guess. Would it be able to talk if I did the speak with dead on it?
The mouth is covered. It still probably could make noises through the wrappings.
Okay. I gotta make sure there was a mummy in Baldur's Gate. You had to like be able to read minds to actually know what it was saying. All right, so I will start the process of using the gauntlet. So I place the gauntlet underneath the head
Mhm.
And start letting the magic do its work.
Do use the gauntlet, yeah, cast the spell. And you could feel the corpse begin to squirm and stir underneath the bandages.
I suppose we should confirm
Yeah, it
exactly what we're going to ask, but
It has to be like yes or no, right? Or like,
don't
or no, it
think
has
so.
to be like short
it
answer.
just has to be something
Yeah.
it can know how, just knows how to reply to. I think.
Yeah, it has to, it might not know the answer to your question, but you can ask any question you want.
It has to be a statement
Right.
so they can answer it in the form of a question.
Right. Well,
we
actually,
just don't want to pull a Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Yeah, I know exactly.
I was tempted to have him say, no, you can ask me anything. And then that's one question down.
We should ask how to create with the recipe, how one would create the elixir.
Should also inquire about the angels and the things that can apparently steal the souls of angels, which apparently they have souls now.
They can be bound. We know that. Okay. So I'm gonna ask the corpse up to 5 questions.
Do
Yeah.
we know who this is?
We have a name.
Well, we have a name on the sarcophagus.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that's the name of the person who's contained within.
I might call. Oh man, I don't know how we might react if we have T-hole here.
Well, you haven't checked. We haven't. You can't see through the wrappings. It could look like T-hole for all we know.
I guess the first question I could ask is, do you or can you share the knowledge of how to create the panacea or those elixirs?
no, and yes. You have 3 questions remaining.
Do I?
Yes.
That was me to you, not to Zarius to
Okay.
him.
Okay.
That one was.
Right. You asked him, can you share how to create the panacea? No. Or the elixirs? Yes. Those are different things.
Gotcha. Okay.
Ask them how to create the elixirs.
Well, which
I guess.
elixirs? I mean,
The elixir of Sekhmet. The ones that, you know, everyone here drank.
Almost everyone.
How? I look to Clay, just like start paying attention. How do you create the elixir of Sekhmet?
Use the panacea.
Jesus Christ.
Huh.
you had to know this was coming.
I did not. Where is the panacea?
In the temple.
That is not specific enough. Can't reply to that.
No, you can't. That's a statement.
Inside the temple.
Is it in the temple?
Yes.
But
We're,
is it
we're in
this
like a whole.
temple? Is it this temple? Is it the temple in Dohat Bajar? Is it where? Which one?
Yeah. Specifically, which temple is the panacea in?
Jeez,
The temple of
Darius, you gotta clear
Sekhmet
these
at
questions.
Dohat Bajar. And you feel the corpse stop
What?
stirring.
What do you mean? I said specifically. There's like a bunch of temples here.
You need to share these questions with us before you ask, because then I could have assessed whether it was we would have gotten valuable information out of it or not. Now we've wasted our opportunity.
He did specifically say the temple of Sekhmet in Dohat Bajar. That's this temple that you're in now.
It's here. If it still exists, it is here.
Right, it doesn't know current events, so the panacea may no longer be here. Especially with that mushroom creature.
Sure.
Well, we still have rooms to explore.
Yeah.
We must be very thorough.
Must we? As thorough as you were with those questions?
Next time, you ask the questions.
Gladly. You guys noticing that Clave is a bit snappier than he has been?
Wade,
I mean,
you seem sober. Or some sharper.
I like sober.
Okay.
Are you okay?
I'm good for the first time in a long time.
Did we fully examine the sarcophagus or whatever that the angels were in? Did they just
Yeah,
have,
Yes.
we haven't fully examined this one, I don't think, but
Right.
Okay.
You haven't really searched this one in full, but you did search the other one.
okay.
So yeah, I think we're gonna search, Teal's gonna at least search through this one. See if, to see what's in it.
Okay, give me an investigation check.
um, perhaps yeah, it wouldn't matter there, but I could potentially give people advantage on these investigations.
So you don't find any sort of loose personal items in here. The sarcophagus itself has numerous gems that could be pried out of it, if you wanted to do that. The plates that show the life of Teom Ra, those are removable and probably valuable. They're all made of solid gold. Each of them weighs, about 10 pounds, but they probably have a value far in excess of just the weight of the gold itself. And there are 6 of them in total. They cover his defeating some sort of large humanoid like devil, what you gather to be maybe the construction of this temple. You do see a picture of him holding canopic jars in front of what appears to be some sort of pillar, a low pillar, probably some ritual thing. Then there are 2 signs, two separate plaques of him that performing what appear to be miracles, raising the dead and healing the sick.
Okay.
And I forget, does anybody here have the keen mind feat?
Yes.
You would notice that the plate that shows him with a canopic jar in front of a pillar, that pillar looks exactly like the crystal in the center of the temple.
Okay. Well,
And the
hopefully
canopic
we,
jar looks exactly like the canopic jars that the potion was held in, the elixir of Sekhmet.
all right. Well, I think the best course of action now that we have finished with what we can with this corpse is to move on, see what's in the rest of this temple. I mean, Zarius, your god or some god, has brought us here for a reason. I don't imagine it was just to be able to heal us, based on everything that we've seen since.
I'll just looked at I mean, so T-Hole looked at this stuff here inside the. Yeah, so I feel like in this case, perhaps I will. I'll go up to Clave and says, "You have the better sight for these things. Go forth with Osiris's blessing." And I will. I want to cast enhance ability and give him Fox's cunning,
Okay.
so that he might investigate everything with advantage.
Um, how long does Fox's cunning last?
It goes for an hour.
Okay.
So just to
Okay.
fast forward, in searching there's one last room in this section of the temple. Inside, when you walk in, you see there is a large boat. It is surrounded by urns that appear to be filled with typical desert style grave goods, mostly preserved food and other things the dead might need in the afterlife. Everything, a lot of it appears broken, as if maybe there was an earthquake at some point or something. And so many of the urns are shattered. The boat itself is partially on its side. And there are shelves along the side that also have grave goods on them. Some of the shelves are knocked down, some are at angles. On one shelf, the most prominent thing you see in the room is precariously balanced at the edge of a tipping shelf. There are 6 glowing canopic jars that appear to be as yet unsealed. And then below that shelf, you can see there are the remains of many shattered canopic jars that apparently once lined these rows of shelves, 6 of which still survive.
And they're precariously balanced, like ready to break at any moment.
Ready to fall and then shatter on the floor. There's
Okay.
obviously some sort of spell cast upon them since they all shed light.
Okay. Can I use an action point to regain? So when I casting using an action point, I can regain half my level worth of spells, right?
Yes,
Okay. So that will give me
up
a
to 5th
fifth,
level.
right, a 5th level spell, and then I'll with the 3rd, and then with that I will cast telekinesis. Um, to try and safely bring the jars over.
Okay, I will say you do manage to successfully save all 6 of them since you're spending a 5th level spell slot to do it.
Okay.
If you had walked across the room to try to get them, there is a chance they could have started to fall. But since you're not actually even approaching them physically, you get all 6 of them.
Okay. So I bring them telekinetically, bring them over, gently set them on the ground where it's safe. Um, and I say, all right, well, this may be what we're looking for. Um,
To identify them again.
yeah, so I'll ritually cast Identify.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you realize well before you even get that spell off, these jars are empty.
Okay.
But they're in a state where they could be filled up with something and then sealed.
Okay.
You could also tell from the prior jars that although there are inscriptions on them in Thultish, that there is some sort of ritual preparation to these canopic jars, given the writing on them and the religious symbology on them.
So, um, I'll say to the group, it seems that these jars may be important to the process in itself, whether for the creation or the storage of the elixir, though these are empty.
It was in the pictures, likely part of the ritual. Would Clay have mentioned his like noticing that the crystal is similar in that picture than it is than in the forward part of the temple?
Yeah, he would have. He would have like used that as the reasoning for that. Perhaps, you know, there's some validity to what the corpse that we just inquired to described. Although now that we've explored all the rooms here in the temple, Clave is not so sure.
Perhaps we can take this jar to the pillar, or at least near it. Perhaps it is involved with, there's some sort of ritual involved.
I mean, once Clave mentions that, T-Hole would have noticed that you also see those flanking the pillar in that golden image. You see those enormous golden winged ankhs on either side of the pillar.
Hmm.
So essentially their face, like if these are the wings, it almost as if they it creates like a little gap around, like an almost semicircle around the pillar. And you can see in the background, there's another canopic jar that's in the little jade basin that's affixed to the pillar.
And this is in the, okay.
You know, I thought it odd that that heart was beating, but then it reminded me of the canopic jar that you carried, T-Hole. So maybe it has something to do with that heart, the creation of this elixir.
Again, you're the one who would be able to to figure it out. I believe in you.
And I think this is Zarius. Yeah. Zarius, as you start to like edge back, you see there is what you would guess to be moving torchlight shining from the main room of the temple on this wall. Or at least the reflections of torchlight.
Oh,
Oh,
wait,
okay, gotcha.
we've moved. I didn't realize
I'll I'll kind of stop
we moved.
and look back and communicate quietly, but still like obviously they have to be able to fucking hear me. That it's looks like we have company.
Wait, where are we? I thought,
I started moving back.
oh,
Right. And the light you're seeing is moving around here, basically against this wall,
Right.
shining from somewhere over here.
We should see if we can return the lid to the
Agreed.
sarcophagus at least.
Yeah, I probably would have done that actually. That probably would have been what I did first, but
Yeah, T-hole would help. Try to get the lid, put the original lid back on the gold lid and then the big heavy lid.
So make me an athletics check with advantage. So yeah, you are able to, it's heavy. It's heavier than you could normally lift. But between the two of you and the crowbar, you're able to sort of lever it up in little bursts and get them both back up onto into their proper position. Though there is a bit of noise in doing that.
I was able to do that without like it hurting my knees and stuff.
You're looking sprier already.
Actually, that's another effect of the elixir. Zarius, you can decide if you want to reduce your age. But the elixir does let you reduce your age back to maturity if you want to.
So how far back?
Let me look at the description again. It's open already.
the lower end of maturity according
you-
to your species.
Right. So you can go back to basically like the very beginning of whatever maturity is for a dragonborn. I forget their age ranges.
Um, I'm not 1000% certain either. They have younger ages on a lot of things, so maturity is like like 13, 14, 15 probably.
Right. But basically you could go back to being the human equivalent of like a 20-year-old ish
Right.
if you wanted to.
Adulthood is 15 if you're going by
Yeah.
whatever's in the player's handbook.
Right.
So you're saying I could have Clave's body revert to a time before he's been nearly killed several dozen times over?
Oh yeah. I mean, absolutely any lingering injuries you've ever had have been healed.
Well, yes, but also the trauma. The trauma. I mean,
Right. However, Sekhmet
Mentally.
doesn't believe in psychic damage though, so all of that remains. All the trauma remains.
You've still been through it.
well, okay, but trauma is held in the body. So from that, and even if it's at least been lessened.
Right. The physiological trauma has been rectified. You still remember it.
Right. And
Like
hey,
a phantom limb.
right. If you're able to just look at a slightly younger version of your body and pretend that all that psychic pain is gone, great.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, I'm actually kind of okay with like, especially if it's like a slower process, like the de-aging portion, just like, also it's kind of dark and shit like that. Maybe it's not apparent right away, the de-aging, but for sure.
Yeah, that's up to you. It's not necessarily a slow process. It'd probably take a couple of minutes.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Probably if it happened, hopefully, because I don't want people to see yet.
Okay.
Maybe I
I mean,
don't.
that's
Maybe
fair.
I don't have a
Yeah.
choice, but
No, you could definitely, like, you're holding a torch. If you hold it like a little bit back and they can't see your face, you're basically covered in armor anyway.
right. Yeah, the keen-eyed
It's-
folks might notice that my tendrils have regained some color.
Keen-eyed folks may notice, but will they care?
Right. And remember, to most humanoids, all Dragonborn look alike. So
That's
We're
we might
basically like bald people
all
for
look
Kurt.
alike, but like a sudden shift in look, you would still notice, I would imagine.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. If a honey badger were staring at me and it had slightly less gray hair, I wouldn't notice that.
I'm not staring at you. Yeah, it's fine. But then, yeah, of course, then we there's the matter of our incoming guests. There's a
What do you
fair
mean
chance
incoming guests?
the people in the chamber on the other side, where we originally fought, if I were to hazard a guess, they came from that village. Likely we will need to communicate.
Wait, but that doesn't make sense. Why would they have come down here? I mean, what was the dragon's name?
Veatok.
Yeah, Kveatok seemed like very protective of this place. didn't seem like they would want to just send people in here after us.
Sure, but that feeling of that they were experiencing is likely gone now. And even that might cause them enough concern to break that rule.
Yes. They might have just gone down to make sure that we didn't accidentally do anything untowards.
Well, we did. From a certain point of view, if they cared about that thing that was creating the feeling more than they cared about serving Sekhmet, then perhaps.
Then they will be educated. Here they come.
Test of faith.
And you see a dragonborn comes walking through the door. And he sees you and your light and immediately starts yelling, "God killers!" And then he begins to run away.
Yep. Yep.
What god could be killed? Even though I'd said
And
they
you
could.
hear the roar of a dragon echoing in the chamber beyond, and you hear some heavy metallic object drop to the ground. And that's where we can end it. We pick it up there next time.
He did care about his crabs.
So you can think about how you want to try to explain whatever's going on here to him.
Yeah. Because we're in no condition to take on a dragon right now.
Well. Yeah, not easily.
If we can convince them to do the mind link again.
Well, if we're ending there, can I spend my last action point to regain some spell slots?
Sure.
I might do the same.
Only Mike can do that.
Okay, got it.
No, feel free. If you didn't spend your action points, that's fine.
Well, thanks for running. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully you will figure out how to get more potions next time.
Yeah.
T-Hole's really
I was
I
I was not necessarily anticipating you saving all 6 bottles, but what can you do?
It's good to have backups.
Yeah,
Yeah.
In case we contract it again, you know.
right. Now
we
you
can
just
more
might as
now we
well.
can more freely do so.
Right. And that means teleport is now always an option.
Man, I
If we can
cannot
keep
wait
making
to
'em.
start using Dimension Door again to get out of shit.
Yeah. Same. Teal's been having he has his Cape of the Mountebank. He
Yeah.
just hasn't been able to use it forever.
Oh yeah.
You can use it. It's just fucking
Yeah.
not a good idea.
Yeah, no thanks.
But now that you're proficient in all saves, you'll probably be fine.
Probably.
Not if I was rolling like I was at the beginning of this session.
Yeah, but you got your full proficiency bonus now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
wonder
one's still one.
if that was applying to saves.
They do apply to saves.
But I mean, I don't know what setting you set off to lock your proficiency bonus. And I
There is
don't
a-
remember checking.
there's-
I don't remember if that applied to saves or not.
It does. It applied to everything.
But your attacks were rolling correctly, weren't they? Or did you have to fix those manually?
So there's like multiple there's multiple, I think in the like the back end, there's multiple fields for proficiency bonus.
Mhm.
Like there's one per save, there's one per skill, and then there's like your global one, and the global
I see.
one is different. Like that, it covers your attacks, but their skills and saves don't.